And taking you on a ride through this virtual reality world, this matrix that we live in. I'm Ansary. Welcome to the January 6, 2017 edition of the Daily Matrix Nightly News. Got a lot of information on the menu for you. Have a seat, grab a strong cup of coffee. Is the Thai military pivoting away from west to China? From the west to China. As we covered yesterday, also, Chinese military recruitment video features a battle in the East China Sea, conflict with Japan. We're going to talk a little bit. 2016 was a big year for China's military. So while they have people distracted on the modern distractions of today's day and age, while people say arrogant thing, oh, China already owns us. Yes, things aren't going to get more serious than they are now. I'm going to break it down, the things that are on the radar. So I'm going to keep you up to date with what's going on in geopolitics and other major developments with the economy. Don't forget China's part in the rise of Bitcoin, at least the price of a Bitcoin to well over $1,000 per Bitcoin. Before we do that, take note of the new newsletter. This is a very special announcement. I've been involved in the independent media since 2004, 2005. I started a newsletter, but I actually finish it because, not enough people signed up, like 50 people. But this time I'm going to encourage you and encourage you and encourage you to think outside the Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, social media zombie apocalypse. You can do it! How did you find out that this video was even online? Because a corporate conglomerate told you that Alex Ansary's video was uploaded. The YouTube Corporation, or Google Inc. And what I'm encouraging you to do is keep up to date with my other content. What if I write an article? Should I have to do a YouTube video, or will you be notified via email? Well, how will that happen? How will you be notified of what I'm doing unless you sign up for the newsletter? And you know damn well you're not going to get spammed with ads for freeze-dried food. You know that. You know that all that's going to come into your email inbox from alexansary.tv is the latest video. Isn't that what you want? Isn't that what we all want? Just a little bit of convenience in our lives? Shouldn't you be served your way right away? Shouldn't you be notified immediately when the video goes up? Why wait to log into Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube? So, the link is down below, as well as the links for all these stories. So let's begin with today's reporting. As usual, I'll mention the source, and you're never going to hear fake news on this broadcast. Is the Thai military pivoting away from the west to China? Thailand is eyeing Chinese weapons to modernize its military hardware, signaling a shift in the traditional Thai arms acquisition policy. Till recently, Bangkok has largely opted for defense items from the U.S. and its Western allies and partners. So we have the pivot to the east, but it's not an accident. It's not the result of just Obama. It's not the result of just George W. Bush. We've actually seen a massive shift. We've seen the rise of the AIIB. We've seen now well over a decade of talks about dollar dumping and shifting to new global currencies. In fact, a lot of people called the collapse before it happened. A lot of people, now that they have a president that they like, they're no longer concerned. Listen, watch, and learn from this grave error in judgment and blind faith in a demigod. Watch and learn. Going back to the article, the question is now whether this apparent change of tack by the Thai ruling military junta is dictated by a diversification's need in armed purchases, or by the geopolitical imperative of balancing the country's relations with Washington and Beijing amid a mounting power play between them in East Asia. All this is going to build. Embracing China. It goes on to discuss this further. Going to our next report from Sputnik News. Aircraft carrier in the South China Sea is testing new weapons. And that's what's being announced from China. That's not the Pentagon. There's no, 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 no. That's the Pentagon trying to, no, 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 you. Our government, our New World Order of the West, built up the Chinese military for a reason. What you're getting from Alex Ansary is something that you should be getting from people like Alex Jones and others. A play-by-play of what's going down. What's going down, to quote Anthony Hilder, is this country. On Wednesday, the Chinese Foreign Ministry said that the country's sole aircraft carrier led a group of warships in weapons and equipment testing in the South China Sea. Beginning in December 2016, Beijing's military exercises in the region have set some neighboring nations on edge, like Taiwan and Japan, but China claims that their activities fall within the bounds of international law. Now, I'm reading from Sputnik News. This is a Russian talking point. You can learn quite a bit about the buildup to World War III from Sputnik News. You can maintain objectivity. You can be an anti-statist, and you can look at these publications worldwide as they announce where they're going to be by the 2020s. And so that is why I bring these information sources to you. So Japan is getting alarmed. Here we have a statement from the defense minister in Taiwan. Despite improved economic relations between Taiwan and Japan, there have been simmering issues since Tapai elected their current official, a liberal Democratic Progressive Party candidate, as president. Tensions were stoked last month when this person, Tsai, or TSAI, spoke on the phone with U.S. President Donald Trump. That broke nearly 40 years of diplomatic custom. So Trump isn't even the president yet, and he also was under fire for getting involved in things like this before he's even inaugurated. Why is that? Now let's go to Bill Gertz from the nationalinterest.org. China's military advanced along several fronts in 2016 in its concerted program to develop new asymmetrical and conventional warfare capabilities while continuing to challenge the U.S. for military control of key waterways in Asia. Bill Gertz has actually written quite a bit, and I like the fact that he has reported on the Chinese military. I don't exactly know what his politics are. I heard from a friend that he is a neocon. I have a book over here. Yes. Here we are. It is called The China Threat, How the People's Republic Targets America. And this is by Bill Gertz. But another friend said, well, that guy's a neocon. The thing is, there is truth in what's being reported. The disinformation is when they say people like Trump or others are not a part of this plot to take us to World War III, a war in which the real elite, even though a lot of people have been, no, look over here. No, seriously, look over here. Da, 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 da. Living in America. Hump, 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 the Trump. It's like, while people are like, look over here, then slap. The real agenda continues with multiple U.S. administrations assisting the Chinese military. So are we going to see a major shift from U.S. presidents, from Clinton to Bush? We have Rumsfeld, by the way, helping out North Korea. You might want to look that up. Might want to get on that. To Obama, to Donald Trump. So you are completely convinced that Donald Trump is not going to help the Chinese in any way, shape, or form. Even though a man who has, by the name of Rick Perry, bringing Huawei to China, to Texas rather, Plano, Texas, that's right, that Chinese cell phone company that has been accused of surveillance. And why not? Hell, they make the cell phone. Some of the cell phones even blow up, as if they haven't had 10 years to perfect the art of the lithium battery. Thank you, Afghanistan, for the minerals. Thank you for the memories. A lot of denial going on. I'm here to pop that bubble. Going back to the article, 2016 was a big year for China's military, missiles, aircraft carriers, and so much more, by Bill Gertz. Contrary to many Western China analysts who said the Chinese aircraft carrier would take many years to deploy, Chinese state media trumpeted naval exercises, dun-da-do, as a sign the carrier will be ready for combat operation sooner than expected. Remember their timeline for the 2020s. They're ready for combat. and the Chinese military will be ready to reach the United States if need be. This is a part of the plan. I've been warning you since 2008. That's why these podcasts are coming back. Consolidating all this stuff. I don't have the time to just do video after video. I have to put it all in here. And that's exactly what we're going to do. A review of military developments in China and throughout the world over the past year provides a clear picture of China's military priorities, both conventional and strategic nuclear. And by the way, if anyone out there has the PDF version of Joel Skousen's Strategic Relocation, I need to review that book. And I understand that there is a torrent. I don't do torrents. If one of you wants to volunteer your time to get me the PDF and email it to me tonight, preferred, because I'd like to do a podcast review on Strategic Relocation. I don't think that you get the real information from the Alex Jones, Joel Skousen DVD. And I think that there is some good information there. And then, of course, you're going to get good information if you listen to people that have actually gone off-grid to find out which counties are better or worse, to at the very least tell you where not to go and to give you some tips. And so I can help with some of that. But there's still a lot more information that I could use regarding the situation in other states. With Joel Skousen's Strategic Relocation, the important thing about updates would be specifically updates regarding land use codes. Costilla County, for example, one of the freest places in North America to live off the grid in a part of Colorado, miles from Denver, a place that I would consider safe in a worst case scenario. But how do you live there if you got code enforcement walking up on the property with their hand on their gun? And if you want to learn about my coverage of Colorado's, Costilla County, Colorado's Warren Off the Grid Living, type in my name or go to my YouTube channel and type in Costilla County playlist. And also go to the website Off Grid Co. That's OFFCO.com. And if you have news to contribute to the show regarding property rights, if there's someone being kicked off their land, if we need to interview someone that is having something taking place, hey, volunteer for the show. Just so you guys know, I'm pretty busy doing a lot of things. I'm not going to be spending a lot of my time going out and getting guests. I'm going to be covering the information that's within me on my spiritual podcast. I'm going to be ranting during the day and then covering using my left brain analytical, which can operate at a faster rate as I shift the gears and focus. I'm going to be sharing with you my ability to consolidate a lot of news and information that you should be aware of. Now, let's cover some international news. I'm going to go real quickly down Press TV's feed here. U.S.-led airstrikes kill 8 civilians in Syria. Trump will help Israel move to Jerusalem. U.S. Embassy relocation red line for Palestine. Iran deal won't be canceled under Trump, and that's according to a person by the name of Corker. And we have Damascus water crisis threatening children. That's according to the UN. And Trump is insisting, we'll get into that just a little bit, that Mexico is going to pay for the wall. Other people are going, well, wait a minute. You actually just asked Congress for a bunch of money. So there is controversy regarding that. We'll get into that. But staying in line with what we've got, thousands of Chinese workers are heading for Israel. There is a Chinese-Israel connection. Beijing and Tel Aviv have agreed on the dispatch of thousands of Chinese construction workers to Israel in an attempt to alleviate the regime's housing crisis. Wow. According to a joint statement released by Israel's Finance and Interior Ministries on Wednesday, based on the deal going to be signed by both parties in February, Chinese is going to send 6,000 workers to Israel over a six-month period. Israel's finance minister was quoted as saying that the workers' arrival would energize efforts to solve the housing crisis. What is going on here? The Chinese workers will reduce the construction time and bring down prices for the benefit of the public. Are these slaves being sent over? About 9,000 foreign construction laborers are employed by Tel Aviv. They look like prisoners. Chinese foreign workers, they're wearing orange jumpsuits, and they're sitting in a building behind bars. It says here in this 2009 photo, links down below, folks, Solo Stories. Chinese foreign workers excavating tunnels in the occupied Palestinian territories have lunch in this February 2009 photo. Yeah, you're eating rice. You're speaking of that, and I'm just going to keep talking, but, where is the outrage concerning the slaves in China? As people go, yay, U.S. confidence in consumer products and the economy and the stock market. Yeah, baby. Living in America. Well, I thought like slaves were like a big deal a couple years ago. Oh no, not a big deal now? See, people will get mad at certain things when Trump, for those that are solely behind him, they'll get mad at what he wants them to get mad at. Is there anger from the supporters on the Trump side regarding the missile technology transfers that have happened from multiple administrations, not just looking at the Clinton Foundation? That's why I keep bringing this up. I keep coming back to certain talking points in a way no other. No. Don't you go there. There is no one on the left or right with the talking points like Alex Ansary. And you know it. And that's why the show is back, and that's why you should share it. You should share this link. You should share this link to this video tonight. I want to see some numbers. I want to see 300 plus views. You're going to help me do that. Post it on Reddit. Post it on your Facebook page. Post it on Twitter. Post this show, because if you do not want to contribute financially, you can contribute to getting my videos out there. You can post this on your website. One of you out there runs a website. You can create a little section for the Daily Matrix with Alex Ansary, and that would be awesome. Now, from NPR. I remember telling a friend, NPR is part of the propaganda machine. And NPR has been amping up the North Korea threat. But Donald Rumsfeld and others have helped North Korea get to where it is today. Look up Donald Rumsfeld, light water nuclear reactors. At some point, I'm going to archive this at World War Zero, the number 0.com, one of my 5 websites. But it's important that you know this is not just about Obama or Trump or Bush. Or just the, Clinton, gonna play a sax for me, Bill? It's not about them or Hillary. It's even the former secretaries of state. We look at Rumsfeld, we see a connection with North Korea. By the way, Rumsfeld does have property in the Taos area. That was brought to my attention last year. So, there's a reason why I'm in Colorado. The elite plan to retreat here when the bombs start dropping. I'm convinced of that. I'm also convinced that that's why they want to clear the poor out of Costilla County, because the extreme wealthy want that land in the San Gabriel Cristo Mountain Range area. That's why you have billionaire hedge fund managers like Louis Bacon, buying up like hundreds of thousands of acres in the mountains there. And how much of that money was made illegally, only to pay off the government and make half of it. Oh, you're going to conserve it now. Oh, yes, you're a conservationist billionaire. You're going to have a big chunk for yourself and your family and yours and your peoples, and then you're gonna protect it from the poor. This is brilliant. So NPR is saying North Korea very far along in developing a new ballistic missile, and they have already programmed America for a strike on Colorado, as mentioned in yesterday's broadcast. I remember this several years ago. They showed the animation, and people were like making fun of North Korea because they got the name of that area wrong. And they're like, they think that's Oklahoma City, but that's Colorado Springs, or vice versa. It's not very funny. Whether it hits the Springs or whether there's a strike at Oklahoma City, or whether it's going to be a strike on Portland, Oregon, or Seattle, Washington, or some other place. It's not funny. It's not funny that Trump and China are about to go toe-to-toe when we know Putin will take China's side, and we know China will take North Korea's side. You can go ahead and tweet all day long. There's this big infomercial for Twitter. About China should do this, China should do that. I mean, this is a clown show. No one does this. I'm going to get up on stage, just tell you what to do. It's not going to work out that way. America. Fuck no. They are not going to bow down to this one. North Korea started 2017 with a menacing start. In this New Year's address, Kim Jong-un warned the nation that it was in the final stage of preparations to test an ICBM. What is Trump saying? His arrogant nature? Won't happen. What do you mean it won't happen? Won't happen. So what is this religious faith in Donald Trump nonsense? So whatever he says, we just won't happen. Oh, really? One man is going to stand in the face of 100 nuclear weapons, or atomic. And they say that North Korea will be at 100 atomic weapons by 2020. Bombardment aside, independent arms control experts agree that North Korea is moving rapidly to develop an ICBM. And we talk ICBMs, we talk EMPs, we talk power grid meltdowns, we talk major threat to our infrastructure. Trump says won't happen. People just echo his talking points. It's got to be some people, though, in the pro-Trump camp. They're going, wait a minute, this guy is acting a little bit... He's acting a little bit like a drunkard in a bar, And he ought to pay a little bit more attention because guys start sounding like jackass. And they're just hoping. They're just hoping they haven't been had. But they're not yet ready to admit it. They rather just call someone who's really an independent like myself a closet Clinton supporter. Yeah, that's definitely getting to the bottom of the corruption. Yeah, that's draining the swamp. So North Korea is going to join the superpowers like the U.S., Russia, and China with nuclear power. Supposedly they've been outside all these world order systems. They've been outside the United Nations. And ironically, North Korea is at this point. They ask if Trump can stop the test. They're not attacking Trump in here. NPR has been labeled leftist. NPR caters to the establishment of the day. They catered to Bush. Oh, yes, they did. Oh, you're going to have people critical on NPR. Oh, fresh air. It just led us in the direction of Obama. And then constantly NPR. I mean, I've seen people get irate with me when I've said the NPR is propaganda. Like, NPR is not propaganda. They don't stand da. And it's like NPR's really like boom, boom, boom. Hey, it's fresh air. We're going to play some tribal music. We're going to pull you in. And now in the Middle East, 10 people walk out. And blah, 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 blah. Like, no. This is not some love and light network. Are you people fucked upstairs? Don't answer that. I'm not talking to you. But there are many that literally NPR is their bread and butter. They call themselves anti-war progressives. And NPR is their educator. NPR is a propaganda network that reminds them on a moment-to-moment basis why we fight, why we're in the Middle East, why we're never going to leave, why we're in Afghanistan, why we need to stay in Afghanistan. Oh, we're helping the women. Yes, we're fighting the Taliban. It's about women's rights. Yes, here, have more of that opium. Yes, hallucinate further. Yes, you're getting sleepier. Here's a Diet Coke. It'll go great with that babbling. More geopolitical news. U.S. tanks and equipment arrive in NATO exercises in Eastern Europe. People are straight up convinced Obama is going to attack Russia before he leaves office. And if so, this is by design to bring Trump into this. Things are starting to warm between Trump and Russia. Let's see where they go. The man already said maybe we need to shoot down those Russian jets. Oh, Putin likes this talk. Putin only likes Trump because he knows the role that Trump's going to play. And it's going to make Trump, or Putin rather, even more popular than he is right now. And there's going to be a lot of people doing the facepalm. Once they see what Trump does, they're going to be doing the facepalm. So this is from Voice of America. Hundreds of U.S. tanks, trunks, and other military equipment arrived by ship in Germany on Friday to be transported by rail and road to Eastern Europe as part of a NATO buildup that has drawn Russia's ire. 2 shiploads have arrived in a northern port of Bremerhaven, and a third was due in a few days, bringing the fleets of tracked and wheeled vehicles for use. About 4,000 U.S. troops being deployed for exercises in NATO states near Russia. U.S. and Polish forces. Poland seems to be like the center of a lot of this last few years. And, I remember reading about stuff when Bush was still the president about some sort of a missile defense shield pointed at Russia. Poland, again, other Baltic states, Eastern Europe. So there's a massive exercise in Poland, and NATO's biggest exercises are taking place there as well. On the topic of NATO, side topic before we go to our next story, Russia is drawing down its military forces in Syria. I just want to say, NATO did a big drill in the U.S. that you should be aware of, not just the stuff going on in Eastern Europe. Do you know what happened in Tampa, Florida in 2012? Yes or no? Open up a new tab. Okay, so you had troops from dozens and dozens of foreign countries basically rescuing the mayor from a domestic terror attack. Foreign troops operating on U.S. soil, NATO troops from many countries, including Chile, Colombia. So NATO troops, not just European, but including South American, in particular countries closer to Miami or Tampa. So this is in the planning. A lot of people, they get really like, oh my God, then they take their focus and they forget. They forget about the Russian troops, or they start showing no alarm because they start showing blind trust in Putin. They forget about the Russian troops training in 2012. They don't talk about the Chinese police being trained. Yes, I covered it. I'm the only person in the alternative media that's covered it outside of the League City Police Department that was proud of it and gloating in their connection with China. While they sent the League City, Texas, it's outside Houston, police officer to China to learn Chinese police tactics. They sent Chinese police to America to, on the surface level, learn American police tactics. What has this program grown into? Have they talked about it further, or has this program gone into a black hole? Look up the video, Chinese police train in Texas or League City, Texas, and you're going to find yours truly with the report in 2012. Again, folks, I may be young, but I'm an old soul. I'm a veteran. I'm an elder, if you will, in the alternative media when it comes to a lot of these things. I was not born yesterday. We're going to take a break. I want to, of course, encourage you to support this broadcast, $5 a month. I'm working very hard at this, and there is an easy way you can do that at alexansary.tv. There's also links down below in the description. Also, don't forget to sign up to the newsletter. Don't depend on the social media corporate giants to let you know there's an Alex Ansary upload. Let me contact you directly. And on that note, we'll be back in just a And welcome to part 2 of the Daily Matrix Nightly News with Alex Ansary, January 6th, 2017 edition. Just want to say before we get started, make sure to share this broadcast with your friends and family on Facebook, on Twitter. Make reference to it in your YouTube videos. Drop a link. Post over at Reddit. That's reddit.com, and not just in the conspiracy section. Try the Donald Trump page. Try politics. Hell, try the Hillary Clinton page, try the Sanders page, just try anything whatsoever. Just get the show out there, because I want to wake up everyone. It's not about numbers. It's about the individual. And I'll tell you what, this is a time that you should take note of those individuals that lied to you and exaggerated the Obama threat. Obama did his job to take us deeper into debt, and he passed the baton. And I said this would happen. And this is going to continue. So there are people that are very invested in the Obama is going to launch a false flag or something, or a war to stay in power. And I want to remind you the same thing, word for word, was said about George W. Bush. There were massive amounts of memes. I remember because I was involved in research back then. At the end of 2008, George Bush, Homeland Security, false flag. I am the dictator. George Bush taking over the country. George Bush, the evil neocon, and then people went to sleep with Obama. We're seeing a reincarnation of that situation where people that should know better, this time it's on the right before it was on the left, so people like me have lived through multiple administrations and are moving into our adulthood. I came up as a young person, still am a young person. I was 21 when 9/11 happened, and now I'm 36 or going to be 37 soon in February, on February 25th, 2017. I've seen so much. I've seen the Trump supporters act like social justice warriors, saying if you don't support Trump, you are automatically a Soros-paid libtard. Just do not pass go. Do not think about what you're saying. Act like a social justice warrior. And wonder why I say you can't rationalize with a Trump supporter. There's a reason for that. So in saying that, share this broadcast with others that are independent, because people are looking for this content. Apparently, there's not enough people that are staying independent, that are staying out of the left and right. I think that there is a place. I do. Call me crazy, call me idealistic. I believe that there is a place for a non-statist, for a true independent who is so independent they're not even calling themselves libertarian. That's right. I'm not even going to even put myself in that box. I am an independent thinker. I remember one time that I met someone, he's like, well, you're an independent thinker. That means that you voted for Obama? That's not good. So he associated an independent thinker, no, I kid you not, with a Obama supporter. It's like, well, geez, Obama wouldn't be a bad guy if that represented independent thinking. Wrong, asshole. Obama does not represent independent thinkers, you idiot. And if he did, then it'd be a good thing. If Trump really represented independent thinkers, it would be a good thing. There's nothing independent about being exposed to government false flags and then getting behind a narrative that they really are coming after you now. So from the Washington Post, getting back to the news, Russia said it's drawing down its military forces in Syria, withdrawing its aircraft carrier and some other Russian warships from the waters off Syria as the first in a drawdown of its forces, according to their general staff. The carrier and ships are the first to leave. The declaration comes a week after Russia and Turkey brokered a ceasefire in Syria. So people said Russia and the U.S. would go to war over this. What if the U.S. and Russia are working together on more than just a space program? Destabilizing countries like Syria and Afghanistan by funding both sides? I think I'm the only one that's actually bringing this to your attention. We can look at even U.S. dabbling in Kabul, Afghanistan in the mid-70s, and Brzezinski and others playing a role in baiting Russia. Baiting Russia to invade Kabul. Afghanistan was never the same before. Those of you that know your history know that women were on their way to going to school. Buildings, infrastructure, irrigation projects, westernization, and many other things. All that was interrupted. All that was put on pause as Afghanistan began to be bombed for the first time back to the Stone Age after the invasion of Russia. These people are not good, and you think the new Russia is any different? And there are others that warned you initially that Russia would not be much different than the Soviet Union. Some of them have just, they have fallen for the power of suggestion. People should ask themselves, why is RT operating so comfortably in Washington, D.C.? Oh, yes, they have a witch hunt for the fake news. Anyone that links to RT, hey, like I said, they can, RT, hey, guys, you guys got to leave. We're going to go to war with your country. We're not comfortable with you compromising this thing called the alt-right or the alternative media. We really think you should go home and take your info whores with their titties hanging out with you. Thank you very much. But no. They don't do that. No. Oh, come on, RT. And I did a video. New World Order uses RT to set up the alternative media. Check out my video on YouTube. I'll constantly be referencing my own work to let you know how long I've been talking about this. And I started talking about RT back in 2011, actually, no, I got a video of me hopping up and down mocking the Obama worship. That's right, all the way back in 2010. and talking about the Masonic symbols and the Russian crest and the double-headed eagle and this blind worship of Obama. Daddy, yeah! Yeah. I'm a veteran. I'm an elder in the alternative media. I got started younger than some of the other younger guys back in 2004, 2005. Access TV before Google Video and before YouTube. I mean, there's not a lot of people that came before that era. There's Alex Jones, there's William Cooper, there's a few others. Some of them are no longer with us. Some of them have become absolutely corrupt to where they almost seem like they're possessed by those spirits of evil that run the New World Order. Gee, who am I talking about? And they've changed. Have I changed? Has my message changed? For those of you that have been with me since the beginning, literally over 10 years. Some of you are actually subscribers since the beginning. Yes or no? Have I changed? Or have I maintained my tune? And is someone worth respecting that maintains their tune, even if you don't disagree with it, but someone that stays true to who they are and their beliefs? Is that respectable or is that disrespectable? Yes or no? I also noticed the last few days, since I've been really talking quite a bit, there's a lot less people calling me a libtard. I mean, that type of rhetoric literally has plummeted. Maybe they're listening. From People.com, fans launch petition to make Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia a Disney princess. Listen, I'm going to talk about the Gnostic themes of Star Wars soon. This battle of good and evil. But the worship of Carrie Fisher, yes, beautiful woman, yes, 1970s, yes, nostalgia. Star Wars. Is she worth more than 10 trillion Afghans? Oh, people are about to get offended. Wise men say to young man, young boy, a day will come when the value of a white woman supremacy like Carrie Fisher, I can hear the gasps, yet you're so offended. Yes. Why are you offended? Will be worth more than 10 trillion Afghans. And the boy started to cry. Oh, not very funny. Truth is stranger than fiction. And then they're drowned. That's the end of the story. Trump is draining the swamp now. So from People.com, Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher share a bond like no other. She's already ruled the galaxy far, far away, but she can be a princess for Disney too. That's what fans are hoping for. In the wake of Carrie Fisher's death, a petition has been launched to officially make the actress the most famous on-screen actress character of all time. Princess Leia, a Disney princess. Disney owned Lucasfilm, the company behind the Star Wars juggernaut, and the petition states its case for the bid, saying, after the tragic loss of Carrie Fisher, we feel that it is only fitting for Disney to do away with the rule that an official Disney princess must be animated, and to make Leia a full-fledged princess. Well, that's fine, and we have Vince McMahon making money off The Ultimate Warrior 2. The thing is, this is about princess programming. This is about worshiping pop culture. Okay? You don't have to be disrespecting Carrie Fisher. You don't have to be hating on Star Wars to not want to get down and worship another dead celebrity. And this has become an unfortunate pastime in our nation. And then people get offended when you call it the fact that they're worshiping politicians. Get over it. Pull up your pants. Wipe your nose. We're tired of seeing you cry for celebrities that you know nothing about, that you've never met, and your silence regarding people that actually are being killed. It's sick. Now, from U.S. News and World Report. Again, all the links will be down below. I'm hooking you up with the documentation. And share these links and share this podcast with others. Sign up for the newsletter today. Support this broadcast. AlexAnsary.tv/donate. Police say that the four that attacked the white Trump supporter who was retarded, they've been charged with a hate crime, Facebook live attack. Look at how sick this world is. The two teens have been schoolmates, police said, after meeting in Chicago, the suburbs. They spent 2 days together driving around visiting friends. Then a pretend fight between them escalated into a real beating and the attack on a mentally disabled teenager, stirring racial tensions. And so this is all also about the media reporting on this and getting people ready for combat. Get ready. They're coming for you. They're coming for you, black man. They're coming for you, whitey. They're coming for you, Arab. They're coming for you, Muslim. They're coming for you, Hispanic person. They're coming for you, woman. They're coming for you, man. And they ain't going to try to bring us together and have a real dialogue on CNN about the similarities between us. No, no, no. the hate crime will be televised. The hate crime will be televised. They will show you the white cop shooting the black man. They will show you the black men beating the white man. Or maybe, maybe the first parts of a rape of a white woman. As people go at each other. And as I talked about before, though, but where is the anger at U.S. troops that have raped Iraqi and Afghan women? Have you seen Casualties of War with Sean Penn? Do you realize that there is an Afghan-Iraqi version of that movie with Michael J. Fox? So as the media stuff on this increases, and I'm not saying we should cover it up, but copycat attacks takes place. There was, think about it, they're going to go live on Facebook. What does this follow? This follows that viral story of the other 4 black men beating the Trump supporter, going, fuck Trump, as they beat him up. And of course, people that don't like Trump are seen as potential supporters of the violence. So, the media coverage of this is there to amp up and see, the media is against Trump. No, the media, including CNN, is going to pour gasoline on a race war and will even have Trump viewers glued to CNN's screen as CNN tells them, Whitey, you better run, Whitey. You better be afraid, Whitey, because the black man is a-coming for you. And they won't go, wait a minute, weren't we just criticizing CNN and the mainstream media's fake news? Aren't they trying to, work us up? And did not CNN work up what you would call the left in Ferguson? Monkey see, monkey do. And if you haven't seen my more self-promotion, if you haven't seen the Alex Ansary Ferguson protests explode with mainstream media help, visit alexansary.tv, look at the right side, look for the best of Outside the Box TV, and you'll find that episode. We have another shooting from the BBC News. Fort Lauderdale Airport. This is Florida. A lot of weird things happening in Florida. Multiple people shot by Florida gunmen. And I did mention the solar flares recently, and I've talked about the links between solar flares and increase in shootings, violence, drive-bys. Again, record high drive-bys this period for Chicago. To me, this is no surprise. Moving on. The abuse of the term alt-right. This is something that I decided that I would read because you do have people that are abusing terms, and you do have also some Trump supporters that are becoming social justice warriors, claiming that if you don't support Trump, that you voted for Clinton. That is bullshit. Fuck you. From the Daily Caller. In late November, the AP, the preeminent arbiter of journalistic style, issued a sternly worded guide on using the term alt-right. Avoid using the term generically and without definition, because you have the term that's associated with neo-Nazis. If every Trump supporter is seen as a neo-Nazi, again, this is more pouring gasoline on the fire, and you get more people viewing all Trump supporters as neo-Nazis. It's unfortunate that there are Trump supporters that are in denial that never before have we seen a president with so much genuine neo-Nazi support, as we've seen people explode on social media demonizing a less white world in line with the rise of Trump. They should really step away from that nonsense if they want to be taken seriously. Maybe they made a mistake in voting for Donald Trump if they in fact are moral people. They're making an even bigger mistake with their denial of the racism that does exist. So just step away from the denial and understand that there is that rising, and don't just sit there and say, well, it's all a left Democrat DNC false flag. They did it. Yeah, it was them in Southern California that attacked that woman and said, take off the hijab. Yeah, it was the liberals that did that. Listen, I'm all about calling people out on their ignorance and their viciousness and their apathy on the left and the right. To go to that extremes without evidence is defamation, demonization of a whole group or half the American population like never before. Literally, Hillary Clinton supporters have been demonized as animals and monsters and lovers of pedophilia. And I would say that just because pedophilia networks exist, which Trump is probably involved in, doesn't mean that Pizzagate is a genuine conspiracy. I'm not the only one that has stayed away from that, because the whole thing doesn't look, yeah, you're just going to show up and go, I want some pizza, and that place is going to stay in business. And then, of course, you're going to have someone that's going to act like they are a sleeper agent, and they're going to go with the gun to that pizzeria in Washington, D.C. You can even see some people asking if Julian Assange of WikiLeaks is even real. We saw how you would call, what some of you would call the left, how they supported him in 2010, and actually Trump talked shit about him. And we've seen Assange, the ultimate tool of Trump. Doesn't that make you go, things that make you go, huh? Continuing on. Let's cover, really briefly, the political news with Donald Trump. I'm going to keep you updated without spending too much time on that, but you're going to learn more in this broadcast than you will on most others. And let me know in the comment section if you agree that there is more news being covered per capita, per segment than other shows. Trump orders Obama's ambassadors, to resign posts. And this is from The Independent. To leave their overseas posts by Inauguration Day by January 20th. The decision to provide no grace period for politically appointed ambassadors marks a significant break with decades of tradition. This is a front to make it look like Trump no likey Obama's crew. They are tight, yo. They are working on things behind the scenes. These are guild actor behaviors to prop up the fallacy that Trump is against Obama, that Obama is against Trump. Nothing could be further from the truth. Remember, I did predict that Trump would be the selection, not election, but selection. I was correct. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the tape. And I made that prediction by at least 3 months. Yes, I did. The move risks leaving the U.S. without envoys in key countries like Britain, Germany, and Canada for months. It also means that the ambassadors' families have been forced to find places to live in America or their respective countries with little notice. So yes, this is playing up Trump. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. Let's continue on that note. Trump says Mexico will pay for a wall after the United States begins the work from the New York Times. Trump said in an interview Monday that financing a border wall would allow the work to begin more quickly, but he insists that Mexico will reimburse ultimately in the end. So, okay, we're going to pay for it first, and then Mexico is going to pay for it later. Empty promises, not taken into the potential of major economic problems through the spending of this, while literally, let's take a look at the defense budget. Let's take a look at what happens. Trump said he's going to go after the barbarians. Well, last time we checked, that requires borrowing money from the Chinese. That's right. Trump's going to go after the Chinese, but we borrow money from the Chinese to go after the barbarians. Hello, McFly. Hello. Do you realize I'm your brother and I'm not your enemy, and I'm trying to help you see the light. I'm trying to awaken you from the spell. And I ask that you help others by sharing this link across the interwebs. Awaken, I command thee. Listen to the sound of my voice. It's been brought to my attention that you succumb at times to the power of suggestion. Therefore, I command you. Therefore, I command you. Therefore, I am programming you to deprogram. That's right, I really am doing that. That's right, I am actually commanding you to want freedom. All right, that's enough. So from the Wall Street Journal, Donald Trump plans to revamp top U.S. space agency. He's been a critic of U.S. intelligence agencies unless they're giving him false information about Islamic invasion. In that case, we love the FBI. We love the FBI. We love Al-Qaeda. Oh, yes, as long as they tell you to be afraid of terrorists. And maybe not you, but certainly down the street, there's a man going, fucking media establishment, we go, oh, we gotta do that, goddamn Muslims. And it's always gotta be a Muslim, never a Muslim. It's a Muslim. So, this move is prompted by his belief the Office of the Director of National Intelligence has become bloated and politicized. The planning comes as Trump has leveled a series of social media attacks in recent months and the past days against U.S. intelligence agencies, dismissing and mocking the assessment that Russia stole emails from the Democratic groups and individuals providing the WikiLeaks. It's all spin. By the way, I am looking for original music. I just want to say this, especially if it's rock, whether it's rock, meditation, what's sometimes called New Age space music, or in the tradition of Tangerine Dream. Or anything that sounds similar, whether it be dubstep or trance or electronica, email me soon, send me some MP3s, and we'll be playing these during the breaks on some of these future Daily Matrix broadcasts. The House has passed a resolution for condemning the United Nations for Israel action. This is from the Jerusalem Post. And by the way, in Israel, they're preparing for the Messiah. Going to drop down out of the sky. We're going to be talking also about Project Bluebeam in the future. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you're new. You're going to want to become a subscriber. You're going to want to sign up for the newsletter. You're going to want me to send that email and it to be waiting for you in your inbox. You're not going to be waiting for YouTube or going to my feed. You're going to be signing up in the newsletter. Do it now. Sign up at the newsletter and you will get that Project Bluebeam episode delivered to your email. Thank you. Thank you very much. From the Jerusalem Post, the House passed a resolution on Thursday condemning the UN Security Council for censoring Israel over its settlement enterprise and calling on Obama, which allowed the UN to move to pass to veto any similar actions in the International Chamber. And I asked a question yesterday, but didn't get any comments in the section. In fact, everybody was pretty quiet, but I'm glad you thumbed up. Hopefully you're sharing the episodes. Is there any good to the United Nations? Why is Obama against the UN? Okay, so are you against Obama being against the UN? Or is this more, are you willing now to open up your mind to the fact that some of the stuff is theatrics? That they really are on the same side, but they create fake conflicts to get us all worked up. Are you of that perspective, or do you think that there really is a clash between Obama and the UN? And if so, can you detail that further? Because I'd love to hear your thoughts. Continuing on, zombies would wipe out humans in less than 100 days. This is from livescience.com. This is really after report of what we covered yesterday from the live science perspective. And so I've talked about how they're prepping you for nuclear war, cataclysmic event, and even in the fake channel messages, they're preparing you for the grid to go out. They're telling you that the Anunnaki is good now, and they've taken care of the Archons. We're just surrounded by disinformation. And they're programming us to see our own lack of success fighting a zombie apocalypse. They haven't given accurate information on strategic relocation. And again, I put the call out for someone to get me that PDF. Do the tort for me as a volunteer and send to my PDF, send to my email. Emails are always in this description box to YouTube. So Live Science, zombie apocalypse won't take long. A new article in a peer-reviewed student journal finds that zombie hordes would take Earth's population down to a mere 273 survivors in 100 days. Pause. Alex Ansary calls bullshit. You would need to have a massive starvation caused by a solar flare for that to happen. They are prepping you for falling and becoming a victim. And then in that sense, you will become more dependent for the government to come in and kill the zombies. Once they tell you not even to try, and once they tell you in the other publications that other zombie creating events like, radiation exposure and nuclear warfare, that there's nowhere to go, there's nowhere to hide. As they start poking fun at the idea of maybe surviving in the Antarctica, not funny. The Antarctica is heavily militarized and Russia's going to go after that. Telling people they might be able to survive in Antarctica is a joke. They've made a joke out of prepping knowledge. And I'm not even going to read this crap. I would stay away from certain websites that are giving you disinformation. Stay away from rinse.com in some cases, although there are some things that I pull from there. But I also see a lot of disinformation as well. I looked over at Steve Quell's website. I noticed disinformation there. So, I go to the Google Newswire. I'll look up specific articles myself. I'll sign up for Google News alerts. So anything with Chinese military, off-the-grid living. I keep my eye on Costia County and what's happening with the off-grid thing there in the San Luis Valley. What's going on with Portland. What's going on with other places. Elon Musk, SpaceX, Russia, NATO, you name it, all different types of topics, X-class flare from the sun. Anytime these buzzwords come up, I get notified. So there are some ways you can automate yourself to be updated with, just like you can sign up to my newsletter, and you can literally be told that hour, even if you're staying all day long off the other internet sites, you'll know when Alex Ansary stuff comes up. Well, I get the Google updates. And it lets me know when, there's a new update on the Chinese military. And I look at it, I'm seeing stuff there about Chinese military, U.S. drills, this, that, and the other, China and Nepal, and nobody's talking about this stuff. So, I don't just go to certain websites, and just start copying headlines without realizing what's real and what's fake. I'm actually drawn to bring to you a variety of nutritious and informative, educational, real headlines, but most of all, to discuss it in one breath, as I just did, in the proper context. This now concludes the January 6th, 2017 edition of the Alex Ansary Daily Matrix newscast. Like this video, subscribe if you're new, share this link with your friends and family and on websites and social media sites throughout this planet of ours. Until next time, I'm Alex Ansary, reminding you the path to the ultimate truth and place of power still lies within. Take care.